Episode 45. It is the end of summer. Kids are going back to school tomorrow. And that can mean only one thing in Boomer Guitar Sessions. We love guitar nerds. It is back to school guitar. Back to school guitar checklist. We're going to check out the things we want to work on. 15 things we want to work on for the next school year, for the next work year. It doesn't matter if you're going to school or not. This works for people of all ages. It's like you have 15 balls in the air, and they're intermingled with one another. They're interrelated. 15 things we want to work on to better ourselves. If we work on each one of them a little bit, it's going to improve. You're going to improve quickly, dramatically. You're going to have lots and lots of fun. So we're going to get started here. All right. With that said, the first things first, we're going to start at the top. We're going to learn songs. That's what we want to do. Song-centered learning. All right. You want to learn songs. You want to, no matter who you are, you don't just want to play exercises. It could be Joe Pass. Joe Pass says the same thing. Learn tunes. That's how he would say it. You learn songs. Now, the deal is, every other, number 2 through 15, every other thing we need to learn in order to get our instrument down, in order to be able to play music, we can bring into that song. All right? So with that said, learn songs. Song-centered learning. Have fun. Practice should be fun. If it's not fun, don't play. If it's not fun for you, don't play. But I hope it's fun for you. With that said, timing and rhythm, number 2. Timing and rhythm. Rhythm to me is essential. Without rhythm, we don't have, it doesn't sound like music. Rhythm is how all the notes go together on the grid. How when you're playing with people, you need rhythm. When you're playing with the recordings, you need rhythm. When you're playing by yourself, you need rhythm. All right. So whenever I practice rhythm, I opt out of metronome use most of the time because metronomes aren't life-giving, and I try to make my practice to be life-giving, because if it's not life-giving, then we're not going to be playing it long. Okay, the stuff we practice and we play a long time is the stuff that is fun, and so drum machine's life-giving for me. So this is a rock beat, and we play rhythm. Okay, everything we do, we can practice with a drum beat of some sort. The key is make it not the same drum beat all the time. Learn lots of different kinds of rhythms and kinds of styles, but we'll get to that later. Number 3 is basic chord knowledge. Learn everything you can about open chords, open power chords, open chords in the first 3 frets, and open chords up the neck. Learn everything you can. And then make all those open chords that you learn in the first 3 frets, make them movable. Okay? So when we're working on bar chords and movable chords of some sort, not every chord that is movable, when we say something is movable, we can play it on any fret. So that is going to be like, this is a C7. C sharp 7. It's movable. I'm not barring. All right. All right. So with that said, learn all your chords. Spend some time just working on your chords. And what chord you're going to have to know your fingerboard, which we'll talk about later, in order to get it. But learn your inversions and stuff, and then apply it to the songs that you're working on. Okay. Number 4 is chord transitions. How do I get from chord A to chord B in an economy of motion effective way? When I say economy of motion, when you're studying a musical instrument, you want to learn the ways that make like going from A to B in the easiest possible way that requires the least amount of motion. Working smarter, not harder, as my dad would say. Okay, like Henry Ford and his assembly line, and McDonald's brothers. They came up with a way to mass produce the hamburgers where they could make 100 hamburgers in an hour when everyone else was making 30. All right. If we apply that same principle to learning guitar, don't move things you don't have to move. In certain techniques, it doesn't have to be hard, but it's got to be thought out. It's economy of motion. That's part of what we learn in the Guitar Collective, which is my online platform. All right, number 5 is strumming patterns. Easiest strumming pattern I can show you right now is what I call Joom 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 Jigga. Now there's probably 5,000 songs that have that as the base of its a strumming. So that's Joom, 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 Jigga, Joom, Joom. You want to get your chords, down, but then you want to be able to play your chords in time, because if you play your chords in time, it sounds like a song. If it sounds like a song, it's life-giving, and you're going to practice, and you're going to be enthusiastic about it, because it feels good to get stuff down that sounds like real music, right? You get the idea. All right. After strumming patterns, and all kinds of strumming patterns, different kinds of music, okay? You don't have to stick to one style all the time. Okay, number 6 is finger dexterity and strength. What we do at the Guitar Collective is we use riffs, we use scale patterns, we use scales, riffs, licks. Sometimes we do warm-up exercises to get our finger dexterity, but the way that you get finger strength and dexterity on all your fingers is by using all your fingers. So find some riffs that you love to play. We got lots of them. Okay, so find some riffs that you love to play, and then that'll get your dexterity together. And then the other thing is getting your two hands to work together. Okay, so finger dexterity and strength, and syncing the two hands together. That's another thing. Okay, number seven. If you buy your guitar on Monday, you should start your band on Thursday. That's my belief. I think you should learn a few things and then just start playing with people as soon as you can. Okay? Play as soon as you can, and you have your guitar sensei, your guitar, the guy that you go to, the person you go to teach you the things, and then you go to apply it. So you can't just be fielding grounders, or like you're in Little League, you fielding grounders without being put into the game. Okay? That's not how it works. You get to be put into the game. Join a band, start a band. Find a mentor. All right? So that, I think, is, and it is absolutely fun. Absolutely fun. If you don't think it's fun, then you're not my tribe. But anyway, you can be you, I can be me. But it's fun for everybody I've ever taught the process to. All right. With that said, number 8 is blues licks. It's blues licks, blues basics, blues form, blues rhythm. Anything that is blues based is going to allow you to stray from the tablature. Okay? Yes, we need to learn how to read some on guitar. But the good news is we don't have to read what everybody else, like if you're an oboe player, you have to read standard notation, because it is a survival skill in the orchestra. Violin is the same way. It's a survival skill. You're going to be playing the things that you're going to be playing. They're going to hand out music to you. If we want to learn how to play like the guy from AC/DC, he doesn't know how to read a note of music. That's not how he learned. Not everything centers around the written music. Okay. But tablature is of great help. Understanding rhythms is great help. Being able to read a chord chart is great help. These are all things that do not take loads and loads of time. As I said, understanding rhythm is really, really, and it's not that hard. It doesn't take all the time that like learning how to read every note on the guitar would. So with that said, blues basics, you want to be able to learn to improvise, and the blues is the easiest way to do that. Okay, and you can apply it to lots and lots of things, and it's gonna be really neat. Okay, ear training. Set a goal for yourself to learn how to play by ear. We'll just use that. Ear training means a lot of things. Be able to sing in tune, be able to sing harmony. But for our purposes as guitar players, learn how to play by ear. The better you are at mimicking somebody, that's how we learn. That's how anybody learns. Sometimes you have written music to help you, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just our ears that we're getting all the nuances. We're getting all the nuances, all the little things, just by listening. All right? So ear training. Improvisation is number 10. Improvisation means you want to set a goal to be able to improvise. And the blues is going to help us with that. Okay, and the scales that go along with this, there's certain scales, certain you can improvise with notes and melody. You can improvise with chords and rhythms, and that's called comping. But the idea of improvisation is absolutely a guitar thing, and it's absolutely exhilarating. If you love Hendrix, if you love David Gilmour, if you love John Mayer, if you love all these people, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Page, whoever the guitar hero is who can really play the guitar, chances are they have some improvisational ability. All the ones I listed did. Okay, so they don't take out their quill pen and figure out what they're going to play. That's not how guitar works. Okay, number 12 is understanding music theory. Music theory is great when it is applied to the goals that you have as a guitar player, the kind of music that you want to be able to play. You want to understand the rules that you can expound on. You can say, this is how this works. So when he's making this, when he's choosing these notes, it's not random. I can replicate that. It's kind of like the DNA of what's going on, and I can repurpose it into my own music, or I can repurpose it when I'm trying to play their music. Knowing something's in a certain key is of great help to you as you're figuring songs out and figuring solos out, and you're trying to learn by listening to other people. Music theory should not be feared. It should not be scoffed at. Reason it was once scoffed at it is because it always, when it was always taught in a manner that it didn't apply to our music. It applied to other people's music. Like I could teach you counterpoint, which is Bach's music theory. But that doesn't, unless you want to, if you want to play Bach, then that's great. But if you don't want to play Bach, it's too much information. So music theory, applied music theory as it applies to your music, whatever your music is. Fretboard navigation, what you need to do is you need to know what notes are on. You need to know where your notes are. So if we're playing in time, if we're playing in key, if we're playing chords, all that requires, doing all that means that you have to know where your notes are. Okay? The sooner you put that off, the sooner your progress is gonna, it's gonna be halted. It's gonna be stunned. It's like, so learn your notes. There's easy ways to learn it, fun ways to learn it, but it's not something you want to bypass. It's a meta skill that applies to everything, whether it's rhythm guitar or lead guitar, whether it's acoustic guitar or classical, whether it is whatever style. So the use of dynamics, louds and softs. You don't always want to play loud. You don't always want to play loud. You want to play soft. Sometimes you want to play nothing sometimes. The idea of space. You want to learn that. You want to be able to self-edit yourself. These are all things that we can do in our practice. And a teacher will go into this and stress this stuff. So being able to self-edit yourself, because we do not have the score in front of us. Okay, we're gonna learn the basic things, and then how do we navigate through a song using that? It should be also a thing that when we're learning these songs and chord progressions and chord voicings and all this stuff, it should not, and I said this before, it should not just be one style, because every style has a new interpretation of how rhythm is used, and how harmony and your melody and your anyway, number 15, establish a practice routine. Your practice routine should be fun. Lots of studies on practice. If it's not fun, you're not going to practice. All right. So with that said, establish a consistent practice routine. When I say consistent, it doesn't have to be the same thing every day, but this list, if you work on something on this list every day, I promise you will get better dramatically in a year's time. Also, not on any of these lists, who's your favorite guitar player? Have an opinion on that. Who excites you? Whose guitar sounds excite you? This is like your recipe. It doesn't have to be my recipe. Your sounds are going to be your sounds, and that's going to be cool. So start with that kind of energy. These are the guys I love. I know people from my generation, but there's going to be people you like that I've never heard of before. It happens every day for me. All right. So back to school, episode 45, all ages. I believe in you. You can do this. And I'll see you next time. Hi, this is Rod from Boomer Guitar Sessions. I personally wanted to thank you for being part of our community. If you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. And this helps me spread my musical messages to all over the world. Thank you. I appreciate you. And always remember,